Okay, so we got one. Okay, cool. How many people know what wholesaling is? Okay, everybody knows what wholesaling is. Okay, is there a reason why you haven't tried a wholesale? Any takers?
My deals have fallen through marketing.
Okay, your deals have fallen apart.
Marketing.
Marketing.
And buyer.
Fear.
Okay, and buyer.
Fear. That ain't gonna work.
You said what?
Fear. Fear.
Okay. All right. So you wrote those down. Fear. We got another one. Fear. No more fault. Marketing. So we have marketing. I just want to kind of go through what they were.
Okay.
And buyer. Fear. We have marketing. Did we miss any? No. Okay. So you want to tackle?
Yeah, I just wanted to give a little clarity real quick, okay? Because whenever you get hired by a new place, right, the first day they got training, right? And they typically train you not on just what you're gonna do, but they typically say, you know, this is the HR manager, this is what she does, right? This is the salesperson, this is what they do. So in this business, it's 3 different departments. Okay, it's 3 different departments that you got to do all at the same time. Marketing, how you're going to reach sellers. Acquisitions, what you're going to say to them to persuade them, right, to figure out what their pain points are to get it on the contract. Disposition, how you're going to make money. And keep it that simple. Don't make it any harder, okay? Where you say, oh, where should I start? You start with marketing, okay? I think everybody knows Byron as the KPI guy. The KPI guy knows that marketing is the reason why you succeed and is the reason why you fail. Because a lot of people will do good and they'll be able to get deals, but they don't keep their marketing tight and know their KPI numbers, so then their average deal is low. They don't know where their money is coming from in marketing, so they spend too much on marketing, and the next thing you know, they run out of funds and they can't keep it going. Okay? So I think everybody should start with marketing.
I wanted to start with the beginning, you know what I'm saying, and then we'll work our way into that, because we do want to have a predictability is important, right? Understanding what's going to happen. So I do want to start off with fear. So you said that yours was marketing. Yours was marketing. Yours was, what was it?
The deals I've had have fallen through.
Okay, falling apart. Okay. Yours, you said end buyer. Somebody back there said fear. Guys, we're talking about the reasons why you haven't been able to wholesale successfully. For those that haven't come into the break room, have you wholesaled property yet? Okay, have you tried? No. Okay, cool, perfect. So we're gonna teach you on how to get that going. So guys, when it comes down to fear, so many people ask me all the time, Brandon, how did you get over this fear, right? How did you get over, cold calling or quitting your job or entrepreneurship, right? Well, the first thing was my why. I have 2 of my wives here. I got my girl and my grandma right there. You guys can see her. And when we talk about, guys, let's give it up for them. But what we talk about, guys, is the why, okay? Now, I do want to use this as an acronym because why, for me, is what hurts you. All right, so write that down, guys. What hurts you? Okay? Now, with that being said, people ask me, yo, Brandon, how are you able to talk to people and get hung up on? How are you able to talk to people and have them curse you out? Well, I was just tired of being broke. And my hurt was coming home every day as a grown man and not being able to help my family. So that you guys are here right now, there's a reason, right, that you guys are here taking your time, your beautiful time, to come learn with us, right? There's probably a why. There's a battery in your back right now why you want to be time freedom. We don't talk about financial freedom, but time freedom, right? The 3 W's. I want you to write this down as well, right? Be able to do what you want, right? With who you want, whenever you want. All right? So, these are the 3 W's, guys, that I want you guys to understand, because when it comes down to real estate, entrepreneurship is hard. Would you guys agree? Yep. So entrepreneurship is a little difficult, but the good thing is that you're always working on your business and not somebody else's. All right, so the fundamentals. Should we go over the fundamentals of wholesaling? Do you guys feel like you guys know that?
Can I ask something?
Go ahead.
I don't think everything is a conversation and building a relationship and a rapport with someone. So when you're attacking a wholesale deal or when you're approaching a seller, it's basically you got to relate with them. You have to be considerate of what they're going through, and you got to find a way of how do I help them. and how do I gain their trust? And it's just conversating with someone, normal conversations and building up the relationship. Once you're able to do that, and then you're able to build a strong buyers list, I know you said a buyers list, your buyers have to show you proof of funds. Like my buyers, I want to know the address of the last property that they bought. Honestly, I want to be able to look it up and see their corporation name, and then even go as far as looking up the corporation and seeing if they're the signer on the corporation. Once you get a solid buyer, and finding the dealers, I mean, it's conversation. You talk to Miss Kimberly, you know, she said her dad died and she inherited the property, and you tell her that you're to the rescue, you're gonna buy her property as is, and you're gonna pay for it cash and close quickly. And that's it. You relate, you conversate, and you understand what their problem is, and you find out how to solve it, and that's it. And you qualify good buyers.
What are the benefits of selling to a trashy ass investor like yourselves? Think about it.
Convenience.
Convenience. Why is convenience important to a seller?
Because they don't want to kill them.
They're distressed, right?
Yeah. But think about why that is important, though. You know, convenient. So, give you an example, right? Whereas investors will put properties up on the MLS, right? I'm looking for a convenient solution to me putting my property up on the MLS. So when the buyer backs out because they just use one of their credit cards, so now the DTI just got messed up, that messes up my timeline. So when you have to realize what all of your benefits are to the sellers, and when they express to you their fear, then you're able to pull out that benefit and say, hey, this is why this is a good solution for you. That's what I'm saying. So don't just say cash to the seller and not be aware of the benefits of cash. Cash is good because we don't have to have a pest inspection or appraisal or a survey. You don't need my tax returns. I'm not depending on OPM to, you need to let them know that, because they don't understand. Oh, I'm willing to pay cash. They don't care about that, because either way, they're getting a check either way. You see what I'm saying? Because most people that I teach, they start naming off this stuff. Oh, I pay for the closing cost. They don't care about that yet. They care about it when you find out they just put the property up on the MLS, but now they want to take it down because they realize how much they're going to pay the realtor, so it's going to change up their net. And that net is below what they owe. Oh man, they didn't think about that. They just thought, hey, let me go to a realtor and sell it. But when you tell them that, they'll say, oh well, what if I'm able to, pay what you owe? Would you consider allowing me to buy from you? You see what I'm saying? You got to know the actual benefit and why it's important, not to you, but why it's important to them, and use that in your negotiation. Okay? So really think about all of the benefits. It's about 9. Okay? And one of the most important ones right now, okay, is being able to close, the seller get their money first, and then they move. That's important because it's hard to get houses for rent. Everybody and their mom was looking for a house to rent. I don't know if you guys know this. Okay.
Say that again?
Yeah. The most important thing about the deals that I'm doing right now, a lot of sellers are going with me because they're able to get their money first before they move out. When a realtor sells the seller's property, most of the time it's to somebody that's getting a loan. First-time home buyer, right? Somebody that's looking to upgrade their home. That means when they get their keys, when they write that check, they want to be in that house. Right. But if we're working with motivated sellers, they need to have the money first. So you need to be able to recognize your true benefit right now and explain it at the right time in the right way with the right words. So just look at all of your benefits as being an investor and being able to, use that in your negotiations. I really, I'm telling you, I buy with title issues. Okay? Why is that important? Because the lady who got a divorce 6 years ago, right, who was a stay-at-home mom, right, she has medical liens, right? Then a person like me, I know that they're not liens. I know that they're judgments. And a person like me, I know that judgments expire. So I know that I can give her pennies on the dollar, right? I can use my attorney to solve the judgment while I own it, and I can cash flow, right? And then at the end of it, I have $200,000 worth of equity. So I'm just telling you to look at all of the benefits and break them down. Don't just skip over them and just say, oh, I'll pay for the closing costs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's talk about leveraging what you know. So one of my favorite lists is the code violations list.
Amen.
Okay? The reason why is because it's not on Prop Stream. Everybody's using Prop Stream. All right, so the code violations list is very important to me because number one is you can find really deep discounted properties, but most of the time they're going to have high code violation on them. So in my city, my counties that I work in, they have what's called lien amnesty. Okay. Now, lien amnesty is basically where you can negotiate with the municipality to bring down the code violations to sometimes little to nothing. All right. Now, other wholesalers might not know this, right? Because they might not have done deals in that area, or they might not have experience with code violations. But what you can do is you can literally go and negotiate with the city, basically saying that if we fix these violations, are you willing to work with us on clearing them? Now, once you do that, you now have released a whole bunch of equity to where the homeowner doesn't even know, and you're the only person that knows. Okay? So, we've gotten a bunch of deals off doing that. Now, the reason why this is not a desirable list for people is because people don't like to work. So, you do got to go to the county, you do have to call somebody and figure out how do you get this list, and how do you filter through this list, because when they give it to you, it's all like crazy, right? So usually what we do is we have a VA that filters it for us and lets us understand what is going on, right? Because there's code violations for like cars, debris. There's code violations for just graffiti. So you do want to nail down and really dial in on the ones that are distress situations. So that's one of my favorite lists. What's one of your favorite lists?
I like zip codes.
Okay.
I focus right now. Right now, I focus on zip codes. 1 year we look because at the end of the year we have like a year meeting. So we look at all of the deals that we did, and we just hyper-focus. We're like, we noticed that most of our best deals were coming out of 3 zip codes. And so versus going for all of these other broad lists and spending all of this marketing on all of these other lists and skip tracing, we decided just to focus on those zip codes. And, we made our net better, honestly, because we wasn't wasting money on those.
So we focus on volume. So we typically are pulling very, very massive amounts of data at any given time. So we deal with a lot of like absentee owners, like tax delinquent and different things of that nature. Because we're pulling the biggest list, because we're making a maximum amount of calls throughout the city.
How big?
Bro, hundreds of thousands of records. Yeah, per quarter.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So it's nothing for us to run through 1 million records.
But don't let that alarm you, right? Because some people might say that, hey, I'm in Houston just like Byron. He's pulling 100,000 records a month. I can only afford to do 100, 1,000. The greatest thing about wholesaling, guys, is that all you need to do is resonate with the homeowner. Some people might like, Sawan's shirt over mine and might do a deal with him over me. Okay, so it's the same thing when it comes down to wholesaling. As long as you can literally resonate with that that homeowner, and get them to understand what you're trying to provide, sell them your benefits, you can still beat Byron on those deals and vice versa.
But everybody likes your shirt.
So appreciate it. So based on that, you also want to look at it as becoming a people's person. Okay. So what I like to talk about is the acquisition sales process, the process that we crafted and curated together. Because I don't believe in a master script. I feel like a script is a foundation. So going into that, I'm gonna give you guys some gems on how to talk to people. When you first get on the phone, all right, first impression is very important. As you guys can see, my first impression with you guys is to be colorful today. All right. So what I like to do is like to introduce myself and set expectations. Okay. Now the way that I do that is I bring down their guard by automatically assuming that they're the person on the phone.
Amen.
For example, I'm gonna call Sawan just like this. Hey Sawan, how's it going? It's Brandon.
Oh, hey, I'm doing good. Who's this?
So automatically, he's now thinking in his head, where do I know this guy from? Did I meet him at Clubhouse? Did I meet him at a doctor's appointment? And in all reality, I'm just a random person calling him again, harassing him about his property. But now, we flipped the script to where he now feels like, he's like, oh my God, I feel bad.
Right.
So now that bought me another 5 seconds, right? So then I'm going to say, hey, Sawan, you actually don't know me, but my name is Brandon. And I just wanted to see if you would consider hearing a cash offer in your property. Now, I'm using this word consider because it's very important. You don't want to just automatically assume, hey, the property's for sale. Because then they're going to hit you with, oh, do you see a sign on the yard? If it was for sale, it'd be on the MLS, right? But what are some more that we hear, guys? You guys all the time.
I hear from you guys all the time, and you guys
Stop calling me.
Exactly. So you want to buy some more time, right? So now you're going to set expectations. You're going to go ahead and say, hey, well, I just want to go ahead and ask you some questions to give you the best possible offer. This is going to help you and allow them to stay into the end of this conversation. What are they getting at the end of the conversation is their best offer, okay? Now, my acquisition team talks about a time where Brandon, they just want to hang up, but they're rushing me. Cool, that's not our customer avatar. If they're rushing you, they're just not motivated to sell.
Right.
If they want you to get through your questions, you're obviously not solving a problem that they have, because somebody that is interested in your solution is going to stay on the phone. All right, so what are some more things that you guys do to go ahead and close sellers?
I was gonna say, well, whenever they're rushing you off the phone, that's your time to get serious, because sellers will take you serious if you slow them down. And so I'll just let them know, hey, look, it sounds like you're in a rush. You know, I'm a busy guy too, and I'm really serious about, increasing my portfolio right now. And I understand if you don't want to do that. If you're not interested in selling, I understand. I don't want to be on the phone with you either. But if you do, I need to take time to talk to you so I can understand exactly what I'm buying. So that way, when I close, me and you, we can do a testimonial together. So do you have time? Do you actually want to sell, or am I just wasting your time? You know, and when it seems like that's not what you should be doing. But when they say, "Oh, I do want to sell, man," I was just making sure that you wasn't one of these guys who's gonna waste my time. Just, hey, I'm not gonna waste your time. But look, we can talk later on tomorrow if you want to.
So
no, we can talk.
It's a game of reverse
That's one of my
psychology.
favorite lines too.
Amen.
I'm not trying to waste your time, but.
So how about you, B? Any tips for when it comes down to talking to people? Because I feel like that is one of the biggest things. People always say, how do I get over this fear of cold calling people? How do I get them to reduce their price? Brandon, I'm offering 50% of what it's worth. No, you're not. You're offering current condition value. See, that's another thing. We're offering current condition value. You're not going to pay 100% of what a Mercedes-Benz is worth if it's missing a transmission. All right? So just because it sells for $58,000 brand new with all the bells and whistles, but this one is missing a transmission and some brakes, you're not going to pay 58, right? Would anybody pay full retail for Mercedes-Benz that has no issues? Of course not. So when we talk to these homeowners, you have to make them understand that you're paying current condition value, okay, not retail value. So
I would say this. So we are big on scripts now, but because I'm big on process, right? And because I'm big on process, I want to know where every single problem is in our business. Because when you understand your process, you have a documented, consistent process, you can always find the problems to your issues a lot faster, right? So if you're having an issue with conversion, you know exactly where that problem missed the conversion. If you're having an issue with lead volume, you know exactly where that problem is. And the more you're able to diagnose these problems, a couple things are going to happen. You're going to increase your profit, right? You're going to decrease your turnover rate in terms of the things that fall out, right? And you're going to become more efficient at being a business owner.
What falls out?
What's that?
Yeah, what falls out?
All kind of stuff fall out. So you're going to have issues where, right, some of your cold callers are not going to be making the amount of dials that they need to make. And you're going to be able to see that immediately if you have a consistent documented process, right?
how many dials should they be making?
Oh man, thousands of dollars.
So let's just say if it's just them, you starting out, you're hand dialing, what do you think is a good?
Well, here's the deal. It all goes back to the same thing. Once you understand the process, once you document your process and you understand it on a consistent basis, you know how to scale up that process. The problem is a lot of us, we come into the business, right? And so if you're a solopreneur, you're doing your marketing, you're doing your acquisitions, you're doing your dispo, right? And you're doing all these things. But guess what? When you find that hot deal, and you're getting ready to close on a $30,000 deal, where's all of your time going to be going? To the dispo, right? All right? So if all of your time is going to the dispo, what's happening with your marketing? Right? What's happening with your acquisitions? Right? And so what you have to learn how to do is to keep all of these things going nonstop. You have to figure out a way to keep these things going nonstop.
The crazy thing to me is, like, I don't know anybody that works 9 to 5 that has systemized their side business to the point like that's their primary business now. Only millionaires. Like, so how much should you be spending in systemizing your business when you're still up and
In my opinion, you should be working on your systems from day one, and especially once you get a deal. You close a $10,000 deal, $20,000 deal, whatever that deal size may be, your next step needs to be focused on trying to build out your systems. Why? Because guess what? Whether you know it or not, eventually you're going to run out of steam. And a lot of times what kills people in this business is when they're doing all of these things at the same time, right? And you don't have no process for this, you're gonna run out of steam, and guess what's gonna happen to your business? Your business is gonna run out of steam. And is it because the business is a bad business? No, you just ran out of steam, right? You got tired of talking to this person, tired of dealing with this issue, tired of fixing this problem. And by the time, if you don't have your systems in place to replace you immediately, by the time you run out of steam, then your whole business is gonna fail. But the key is, immediately, as soon as you start making some money, you wanna invest in making sure that this is nonstop. You want to also invest in making sure that this is nonstop. Then you want to invest in making sure that this is nonstop. Now, whenever you run out of steam, what happens to your business?
It's still going.
It's still going.
Yeah.
Right? So right now, I'm literally in New York right now, and we're still working on deals getting closed this past week, right? And whether I show up next week or not, deals are still going to be closing, right? And Brandon will tell you, how many hours I may spend in my business on a weekly basis.
Probably not that much. I mean, I would assume, because you killing it on Clubhouse, so I know you. But no, I mean, to Byron's point, to give you guys, I think the biggest reason I'm turning this business into a side hustle, to a main business, because when you do your first couple of deals, you don't really know how you got them. Yeah. Like Byron could probably tell you what list, what zip code, right? How they actually got that deal, whether it's ringless voicemail, was it text message, was it cold calling. You can see what cold caller was it, right? And then dialing into the actual zip code and then who sold the deal, so then you can replicate it. So the reason why he feels so comfortable saying that is because it's predictable. He knows based on how many calls he's making, he knows he's gonna land a deal. Based on how much he's spending, how many leads and opportunities are gonna get created. So if you can literally turn your business, turn your hustle, your side hustle into a business, like he said, it's just gonna be rolling all the time.
And the faster you can do that, is the better. Because guess what? Where people get confused at in this particular business is that they think that the strategy of wholesaling, right, is a separate thing from, it's the same thing as running a business, and they're two separate skill sets. Running a business, that's a skill set. It's a completely different skill set. If I'm the CEO of a company, that doesn't mean that I know how to. If I'm the CEO of
Chick-fil-A.
No, I'm gonna go with Chipotle.
Okay.
If I'm the CEO of Chipotle, that doesn't mean that I know how to cut lettuce, right? And that doesn't mean that I know how to cut the steak, right? The perfect exact way every single time. Right? I know how to do that, but I know how to look at my KPIs. I know how to look at the functions that are going on in my business, and I know how to drive that business to success. A lot of people, when they get started in this business, they get stuck here. You get stuck in all of this, right? So you're stuck in all of this, and you don't even know what's going on in your business because you can't see it. You don't even see your business. The only thing you see is, let me hurry up and make this call. Let me hurry up and try to keep this buyer from close. Let me hurry up and try to close this next deal. Let me try to market. Let me try to do these things. And you never, ever get a chance to look up and see, hey, wait a minute, what's really going on? What are my goals? Where am I trying to go? What's my vision? Like, how much money do I really want to make? You making money, right? So your bank account is coming in, but you don't even know what's going on. You can't have family time. You don't have time for any of these things because you're stuck in this. So the key, in my opinion, is to get out of this as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I do that with a 9 to 5.
Hey, look. Let me give them a couple ways to automate each one. Okay. So for your marketing, okay, like he said, you gotta have the marketing going every single day. So that means you gotta have leads. Okay, one easy way that I like to do to automate the leads is you gotta send out RVMs, ringless voicemails, instead of just sending out one big blast. Okay, let's say you got 10,000 numbers, or you got 10,000 people on the address. Instead of sending them out 10,000 all at once, you want to break that down per week or per day. So 10,000 divided by 30, that's what you send out per day. You see what I'm saying? And you just go ahead and set it up for the whole week, for the whole month.
Who here knows what ringless voicemail is?
Yeah.
I wonder what system.
What you call it?
Ringless voicemail?
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, for those of you that don't know what ringless voicemail is essentially basically a system that drops voicemails without the phone actually ringing. So it'll ring one time, okay? And then after that, you're gonna receive a voicemail of whatever obviously gets dropped. So the intention of what we're doing here is we're getting them to call us back. So anybody that calls us back, we're hoping that it's interested, but it doesn't really work out that way. So there's all other processes and systems that we use to really qualify this homeowner, okay? So, that's when we use what's called press 1, press 2, okay? Those things. So when it comes down to a system, what system do you use? Yeah, or what software do you use?
Man, we use Roar, we use Message Communications. That one is heavy. Message Communications is phenomenal.
So I just didn't want to get burned by the gurus for saying that one, so. But yeah, guys, Message Communications by far is the best one. It's the most cost effective.
Yeah, it don't look like it. You look at it
and you're not gonna hear that nowhere else. I promise.
Yeah,
nobody's gonna tell you that because that's what the gurus use. So, and there's no affiliate, so they're not gonna tell you about that. But Message Communications is very important. And going back to what he was saying, when it comes down to a 9 to 5, this is what you want to do because you're gonna get a lot of opportunities.
Right.
Now, an opportunity doesn't mean it's a lead. A lead is somebody that is wanting to sell, right, and does own that property. So you're gonna take these opportunities, convert them into leads, then offers, then contracts. Okay, so it is a numbers game. So going into what you were saying.
Perfect, right? So now, instead of just marketing one time, you just changed yourself into a marketing machine. Now you're marketing every single day. Okay, just something that simple. Okay, next for acquisitions, one thing that you can do. So acquisition is the act of qualifying the seller and determining and follow up. Okay, so one thing you can do is a text message, okay? And just a text message chain, okay? Just a text message chain. Literally, I send it out probably once a week, okay? And it's stuff to help me get a response, just like the RVMs. So what will you respond to from a random number that text message you? What will you respond to? Let's think about it real quick.
Who are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you saying when the homeowners respond?
No. Yeah. When you get a text message on your phone from a random phone number, what's going to make you respond?
Oh, yeah, for
right?
sure. Who is this? Who are you?
Right. So I say great day, okay? You guys will hear me say that all the time. And then my first text message that's automated is great day. Everybody's going to respond back to that. I think the numbers really say 94% of the people respond to great day.
That's
Because
I'll
most
try
people
that
are
right
just
now.
going to respond and say, hey, I'm having a great day. Okay? So you just want to create an automated text message to get responses in your acquisitions.
I want to add to that too.
Yep. Yep.
Another reason why he uses Great Day is because Great Day is typically not going to get blocked or considered spam by the cell phone company. So here's the deal. We used to use Hey. And Hey used to work tremendously.
It did.
Yeah, Hey was great. And so here's the thing. If you put in there, hey, my name is Sawan. I'm a cash buyer looking to buy your house. The property. That text message is probably not even gonna get to. It's probably just gonna go dead like the moment you send it out. You just wasted a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Because it's just not gonna even make a connection.
But
cash buyer, cash, all of that kind of stuff quickly gets considered spam.
Where can they see those words at? Do you know where they can see those words to see what's going to trigger those companies? So that
I think Roar provides them.
Yep,
Yeah.
Roar does. Yep.
I mean, another way too is you can just be creative. So we just still text them and say, hey, would you consider selling? The key is that we put 3 L's. Okay? So we put we put 3 I's. So we put S-E-I-I and then lowercase I. Does that make sense? So it looks like selling, but really it's like saying, or I don't know how it's spelled. So really when the provider sees it, it doesn't look like they're actually saying selling. And that's how we
typo.
Yeah, it looks like
typo is normal.
Exactly. So it looks like they're bypassing that. But I do want to. So Mary, give us some actionable steps. How do you think people can actually? Because most of these people here haven't done a deal. I think besides her, as far as wholesaling. So what are some actionable steps that people can do starting out like today once they leave?
In what part was starting wholesaling, like finding a property, like marketing?
Yeah. What would you do?
You could cold call. You call agents on Zillow and ask them if they have any off-market deals. Starting real estate wholesaling, I used to get most of my deals from agents, like off-market RB. I did a deal with RB, and her deal was off-market, was an estate sale, and I got the deal from her and I wholesaled it. I have a lot of agents that I worked with for years that.
Keep it simple, Megan. I love it.
Yeah, agents, free way. Zillow is free, right? Agents.com. The internet is free, right? Go on the internet, tell the agent, listen, I'm a cash buyer. I see that you had a property that said, and you look for the keywords like cash deal or no access or quick sale, those keywords or whatever that they post on Zillow, and you ask them if that property is gone, you ask them if they have other properties in the area that's off market. Let them know that you're an investor, you're looking to close quickly. And honestly, I throw them a bone too under the table.
There you go. We do that too. How many realtors do we have in here? How many realtors? Okay, we got a couple. Guys, would you say that 8 out of your 10 leads that come in daily are probably retail leads?
Yeah.
So if you're a realtor and you're not running a little wholesale business on the side, at least generating leads the way we do, you're missing out a lot of money, for sure.
Absolutely.
I would definitely recommend that you
I
start.
actually just said, hey, Mr. Friendly, realtor, investor friendly realtor, this is my operation I got going on. I generate leads every single day. How can me and you make money together, because all of these leads aren't good for me? And then you guys decide how that looks. So whether they're paying you for leads or whether you guys have some kind of partnership. And with us, we just set up the appointment for the realtor. We just go ahead and, Mr. Seller, that's Tuesday at 6 o'clock, sound good, our realtor can come over and get you started. And the realtor goes over, right? Doesn't say her company name, just go ahead and get them signed up and list it, and then she pays us on the back end. So
nice.
You guys can work with other wholesalers and investors and create this, company together, so that
We do the exact same thing.
Yeah. So
realtors are like the best.
yeah.
Especially the ones that deal with short sales.
Oh,
or
yeah,
state-
those are the
have the
best.
state attorneys under their belt.
Yeah,
for
like,
sure.
they're the best.
Yeah.
Y'all have any questions?
I want to speak on the deals that fell out.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
So here's the deal. Depending on your exit strategy, because different people have different exit strategies in their business, right? But if you're only doing wholesale, you're gonna look for maybe about 60% of those deals. 60% of those deals are gonna close. That other 40% just may fall out. But what happens if the first 2 deals you do of that 40%, then you're gonna feel like this business is trash, it's all. But when you do it consistently over time, you're gonna realize that's just a part of the business. And guess what? Some of those dead deals that fall out end up coming back into your pipeline later down the line.
Yeah.
It may be a title issue. It may be whatever the issue is. You just call up those dead leads from time to time and just see if you can. We had a dead deal not that long ago. Brian he actually bought the property from our company.
Y'all buying churches now.
Yeah, we bought exactly. He bought that property from our company, and he made $70,000 on that deal, right? And this is a dead deal. So that just goes to show that just because you have a dead deal doesn't mean that it's just dead at that time or dead because of whatever. Because we have situations where seller, right, they have some airship of affidavits. It's usually airship of affidavits. Somebody passed away, and then this person doesn't want to sign because he hates this family member, and this one hates that family member, and they don't agree, right? And so they don't want to sign off on it. But then you give them a little time, and they'll realize, okay, I'm being stupid. Let me go ahead and get this property sold off before we lose it to taxes, right? So it's all of those kind of issues that pop up from time to time.
There's a couple. So usually when we look at the deal, guys, that comes through the CRM, we're looking at number 1 is obviously does it fit our wholesale criteria. Number 2, if it doesn't, we're looking at can we refer it over to a realtor, right? The next thing is can we wholesale it, right? So wholesale for those that don't know is where you fix the property just a little bit. It's called lipstick. You put a little bit of paint, a little bit of carpet, and then you list it on the market just for quick profit. And then the next thing we look at, in this no particular order, we look at creative financing, right? Which is keeping a property or doing some type of way to creatively get it done. Yeah. So there's a multitude of ways, guys, on how you can work through a lead and find an exit strategy to make money.
You need to do all of them. You need to do all of them because that's the way you maximize your average deal size. Okay. What will kill your business is a low average deal size. I don't know.
So what's the average deal size? I mean, what is that? What does that mean?
So like you do 10 deals and whatever the average of that is, okay? A lot of people when they just get started, they see a $5, $3, $6, $7, $8,000 check. So they think that's cool. But if you're gonna maintain the business, you have to get your average deal size at a place to where you can hire somebody and they make good money and they're motivated by bringing you more money, okay? Because that's what we're talking, that's why we're able to be here. So you have to, when you're able to do all of these creative strategies, you can raise private money, right? You can wholesale, and your average deal size should be, in my opinion, between about 15 and 25, okay?
I want to piggyback on what Brandon said, referring deals to agents. That's another thing that I do as well. Like if some of the sellers, they tell me that their house is in real good condition, or I go see the property and it is in good condition, I let them know that, you know, I shoot myself in the foot. I let them know I'm not here to rob them, that they could get market value.
Yeah.
So I refer the lead to an agent, and then they kick me back like 25% of the commission. So I don't waste the lead.
And those are properties, what, 600,000? What's that?
Yeah.
So you're making good money on it.
Yeah.
That's one, depends. But
it's your marketing. But I'm saying it's your marketing spend though, right? You still have that money to get back, and what you put into it, you got back. Right. So I kind of want to play devil's advocate real quick, right? Because Noah said, well, how do I do this, right, guys, with a 9 to 5, right? So how do I do this? So Byron, you know, his stuff is 9 to 5 to millions, right?
Absolutely.
So he's teaching people, guys, on how to literally do this with a 9 to 5. So Byron, how would you tell people to do this if they have a 9 to 5?
I think the only way to do it, in my personal opinion, is you gotta systemize your business immediately. The moment you start making money, you have to put systems in place. But here's the key though. The problem with that is a lot of people get stuck in what I call being busy instead of productive when they start trying to think this way.
Hold on, say it again.
They get stuck in being busy instead of productive. Now, what busy looks like is you're focused on the name of your LLC, right? You're focused on your business cards looking perfect. The new t-shirts for your company being perfect, right?
Real quick, right? So I want to hold on.
Nobody got a better t-shirt than you.
Yeah. People come up to us, right? Brandon, I got $500 to start my wholesaling business. Great. I just got my LLC. I spent $150. Why would you spend 30% of what you got to really make this, business flourish? So keep going.
Absolutely. But what you want to focus on is all of the ROI producing activities, right? That's where you want to focus first, right? So you want to make sure that you have your marketing channels robust, right? As robust as possible. And you want to keep it on a consistent basis. If you are afraid to spend the money, get somebody else that ain't afraid to spend the money to continue to spend the money.
What's your go-to marketing for people 9 to 5?
Oh, well, I'm a cold caller, man. That's what's working now for us, right? So, but everything works. So I don't even like to, it's not a go-to, because different markets have different things that work. So, here's the deal. Though. You want to make sure that this process is 100% robust and automated. As automated as you possibly can get it. And that can be as simple as whether you making that payment and you know that, okay, I'm going to spend this amount of money on my marketing every single month. This right here, your acquisitions process. We do it.
How much do they spend on, marketing? Let's say they close a deal of $5,000. How much do you guys spend?
I'm going to take at least 1,000 of that, and I'm going to put that into marketing. Right? That's what I'm going to do. Right? That's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to scale that up. I'm going to scale that up as fast as I possibly can. Once I understand what I'm doing, right? So you're going to want to track it, right? You're going to want to track it. You're going to definitely want to make sure that you get a CRM. Right, that automates this process for you.
Whoa, CRM, what's that? What's the CRM?
Customer Relationship Manager, right?
I already have relationships. What do you mean, Byron?
We use Mamba CRM, that's what we use.
What does it do for you?
What does it do? It automates all of this, and all of this for me. Why? Because Mamba CRM.
Yeah.
Mamba CRM.
Can you write it for them? Can you write it for them so they don't understand?
So is it like in Mumbo, all of this is already included, or you gotta refine these things and roll it into something else?
So here's the deal. You have two different types, right? You have the one where I recommend a lot of people get at the beginning, where it is, it's about $79 a month, and then you have a gold one where you can completely customize it, right? And that one is about $199 a month, right? And so that was a little bit more expensive. But the key thing is, let a couple people just.
All right, let's start over again.
Yeah. Nice to meet all of the new people. You know what I mean? But anyways, so the main thing I want to do is I want to invest in something like this immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately. So after I close the deal.
Let me break down what a CRM can do for you. So CRM number 1, you can call from the CRM, which is going to be important. Okay. Number 2 is that you can track your calls and the recordings. Right. How do I know that I spoke to Sawan? That Sawan lives in North Carolina. That he has a dog named Benny. if I speak to him 3 months later when he told me to. If I don't remember that information, well, guess what? I'm not building the BLT, believe, like, and trust, which means that now Byron's gonna come in and he did remember that, and now he's gonna like Byron over him because he remembered his dog that was suffering from cancer. So if you have a CRM that can do that, right, a rapport funnel is gonna help you out. Next thing is that it has what's called drip campaigns. So a drip campaign is basically an automatic follow-up sequence. It's basically a sequence that you create, that you customize, that's going to automatically keep contacting this homeowner as if it was you. Okay, so for those people that are 9 to 5, a CRM is going to allow you to literally fire yourself for a little bit as a follow-up method.
Absolutely.
What was that thing you said? Drip quarantine? What?
That's a drip campaign.
Drip campaign.
Drip campaign.
Absolutely. And what that drip campaign does and what does it look like? It looks like I'm going to be sending you out text messages, right? I'm going to be sending you out emails. I'm going to be sending you out ringless voicemails. It's going to seem like I'm calling you. But guess what? While all of this is taking place, guess what I'm going to be doing? At home sleep. Right? I'm going to be asleep while this thing is sending out all of this information. And whenever that person calls me back, then it's going to trigger me to give that person a call.
Exactly.
But not until then. But I'm talking to thousands of people
At the same time.
while I'm not even talking to thousands of people.
Yeah.
And that's the power of leveraging your time, right?
Which is TOI.
The follow-up game, so your follow-up game gotta be on point, gotta be strong. So the CRM comes with that.
So so people always talk about, right, how long should I put them on this drip campaign, right? We call it the 10 days of hell. Where every single day they're getting hit. Every single day they're getting hit until they say, leave me alone. Right? The reason I don't stop is because I gotta afford these colorful shirts. So it's over and over and over. Okay? So that's why CRM is important, guys. You really have to get a CRM to automate your business because it's gonna give you that time on investment.
And consistency.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So people
And then you're gonna outsource this dispo process. What you're gonna do is you're gonna try to find you a good realtor, right? Or you're gonna find another wholesaler, right? That specializes in dispo properties. And you're gonna tell them, look, we're gonna work out a deal. For every deal that you dispo for me, right? I'm gonna give you this percentage, and you just keep it on a commission only basis, right? So how much money did you come out of your pocket for your dispo person? $0. How much money do you make when they sell your deal? Whatever it is.
A lot.
You know what I mean?
A lot of money.
Absolutely. So now this process is automated. This process is pretty much automated. And then we're going to go deeper into this. This process is automated. Now your business is functioning, whether you are doing it or not, right? And that's power of leverage. Your CRM is doing your follow-ups for you. It's also getting in contact with people. It's also documenting every single process in your business, right? So whenever you get ready to start looking at what's working and what's not working, you can quickly just go back and say, okay, I spent this amount of money here. I got this amount of leads. I made this amount of money. How can I repeat this process? How can I duplicate this process? Now you see how this stuff gets easier?
Yeah. And what's important, guys, is that when you're using the CRM, you know how to spend your time wisely because you're going to be staging your leads. So for example, you have leads that say follow up in 6 months. If you don't notate that, you're going to keep calling this person and they're really going to get aggravated. So what our team does is that they automatically contact the people that's called seller try to contact you. That means that at some point in time, we didn't, they contacted back, they basically replied. So we're going to hit those people really quick. Next ones are going to be a follow up from a specific date, then so on and so forth. So a lot of the times, newbies end up, spending their time on leads that they shouldn't be, spending their time on. So, okay. So guys, we're being kicked out.
One quick question.
Yes.
When you said that you kind of go with other wholesalers and kind of formulate a deal, are you doing this verbally or you got a contract going on? I'm just curious. Like you have a written document contract with a lawyer?
So are you saying when we put it on the contract?
Like when you say, hey, Dory, I'm going to give you 20% for every deal.
Oh, so it's basically a JV agreement. It's a joint venture agreement that you can go ahead and negotiate with that person. Typically, we
10, 15.
10, 15, 30%, whatever it is. Sometimes
Of the spread.
If they're doing more, then you can do 50-50. But whatever it is that you negotiate, that you feel like you can give up.
If you guys want a copy of my roles and responsibilities for a disposition that we dispo out, you guys can just hit me up on Instagram, and I'll send you a copy of the roles and responsibilities that has our exact contract.
Let's do an outro.
Yeah.
Let's do an outro.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Name on Instagram?
Yeah, we're about to do an outro.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, guys, if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, it's Blue Notes Brandon. If you go to BlueNotesBrandon.com, you're going to be getting my wholesaling care package for free. It's basically step-by-step guide on how to wholesale and all the resources I use, and it's absolutely free.
Absolutely. And also, if you guys, the best way to get me is on my Instagram, Byron the Investor, or you can text me as well. You can text deals to this number here. I'm gonna put it up here. Yeah, I'll put it. If you text me deals to this number, oh, you can take my space.
That's hilarious.
Okay, let me see. 4290160. If you text me deals there, yeah, there we go. Then I'll be able to get you access to a bunch of different free resources that I use. I'll send out my 30K in 30 days blueprint. That gives you a lot of KPIs to look at. It gives you a lot of resources that you can use to get started, to get into that 30K in 30 days. So definitely tap into that as well. But yeah, and I'll just send out all of the free resources and tools that I use right now.
Airdrop?
Yeah,
Somebody
that is.
airdrop?
Follow me on Success Not Stress 2018 on Instagram.
All right, on three, everybody. Let's
Wait, hold on. I got
airdrop. Hold on. This is me taking action on Instagram. So let's go on 3.